everybody, and welcome to Skateboard Nation. Today's guest comes, boy, just got into the Hall of Fame, Bob Skoldberg. Bob was one of the incredible competitors from what all his peers told me. I've talked to a lot of guys now, and Bob was feared. He was feared. So
I didn't like to lose.
Yeah, well, you were competitive. I was going to tell you this earlier, but I didn't get a chance to. But, I kind of mentioned it, that you and I have very parallel lives. Like, the way you grew up, I grew up. I mean, I was shocked because I read a lot of your stuff and what you've said in the past.
Similarities, huh?
Yeah, big time.
Cool.
You were also 5'1" when you graduated from high school.
Were you a little guy?
I was a little guy too.
5'1", 93 pounds.
Okay, I had you there. I was like 102. So.
Pee-wee wrestler at Claremont High School.
See, I didn't go there.
Yeah. Wow. 1970, you graduated. Yeah. But I think I weighed 93 pounds when I was 18.
Do you think that's what made us competitive?
Probably, yeah. Because you were the smallest guy and you had to try harder.
I always got picked on. I got beat up by everybody.
So
I was in more fights than you could shake a stick at. Anybody that messed with me in any way, man, was instantly. I don't care how big they were.
I had some big friends that protected me.
Oh, okay.
Tough guys. My brother was 2 years older, and so I had his friends kind of look out for me. And if I got beat up or something like that, I'd just turn it on to my brother's friend, and he'd go kick their butts.
Okay, because it was funny, because I know when it was my brother's friends that all kicked my butt. So,
yeah.
Anyway, okay. Well, anyway, so I wanted to start the very beginning, man, of skateboarding and how you got involved in it. How old were you when you got involved in it? Like, let's get this on the record.
Okay, gosh, wow, I got to go way back.
Yeah.
Started skateboarding early on. Almost on a 2x4 like everybody else, and nailed those steel wheels on a little 2x4. I mean, way back when we were little kids, But always had a skateboard as long as I can remember, and. Into the early 70s, when they became machines, that you could really go fast on and turn and carve and pump and everything like that, like fiber flexes, like urethane wheels. We just kind of gravitated up to La Costa. I was probably 24.
Wow. Okay.
Little older.
Okay.
But went up there when the surf was. I lived at La Jolla Shores. When the surf was no good, we'd go skateboard.
Wow.
My friend Steve Ely and Henry Hester. We'd skate La Costa almost every weekend. There's some nice driveways there that we could just go up and carve and just have a great weekend. And that sort of evolved into the running of cones. All of a sudden, Henry said, hey, we're running some cones on the weekend. You should come join us, and I said, sure. And we started out slalom skateboarding up there on Black Hill,
okay,
off of Alga, and one thing led to the other, and people would come down from Dogtown, Z-Boys, all those guys, Tony and his crew, and Jim Muir, and first thing everybody was chucking in $5. And we'd have a little electronic timers and some cones to run, and we'd pay 1, 2, 3.
You guys actually had an electronic timer up there as well?
I think so.
Okay, so anyway, well, let me ask you this: like, what kind of music was everybody listening to up then? Do you remember?
Rock and roll.
It was all rock and roll.
Absolutely rock and roll. Yeah.
Okay.
Rock and roll. The Doors, and Led Zeppelin,
Hendrix,
Santana, Hendrix, you name it. Yeah, rock and roll.
Nugent.
Not too much jazz.
Yeah, okay.
All rock. Yeah.
I was just
a 70s rocker.
Okay. I was just curious because I remember like when I was doing it was all about Nugent and basically Van Halen, all those guys. So I just didn't know if that came up. Yeah, a little bit later.
80s, yeah. But Van Halen, unreal. Nugent.
Yeah.
Cat scratch fever, right?
I heard that like a million times as well. So yeah, I get it. Okay, so was there any kind of like did you guys work out like there was like a team almost of like the La Costa, like there's the La Costa guys now, La Costa racing team, you were a part of it.
Yeah, the Gordon and Smith team, the local guys, we became sort of known as the La Costa boys. Henry Hester, myself, Mike Williams was there, Tommy Ron, Bobby Piercy, all those guys, we were there, you know.
There you go, right there.
On the weekends. That's us right there, yeah. And we had a pretty good reputation, you know. We practice, and we're a hard bunch to beat, you know. And even when the guys came down from Dogtown and wanted to race us, you know, they had their work cut out for them.
Well, let me ask you: was there a rivalry at that point between the down south and the Dogtown guys? And
yeah, you know, we somehow got associated with you know, a Christian group, you know, Gordon and Smith.
Yeah, right.
And you know, everybody wanted to come down and kick our butts. Really, is what it amounted to. They were a little more hardcore. Those guys up there, you know, street skaters. You know, Tony and his crew, and they. You know, but they love slalom skateboarding too. But they do it on wood boards. We were on, you know, fiber flexes and Turner summer skis and Logan Earth skis and all that kind of stuff. You know, but we had honed the slalom, giant slalom racing pretty well at La Costa, and you know, we were happy to take their money.
Okay, well let me. Yeah, they came down and okay. Yeah. I was just wondering because you had
how much is that translated into today's terms?
Oh, you know, I figured that out too. I think a dollar in 1974 is now $5.35. So it'd be like everybody throwing in $25 today. Back then it was $5. Everybody threw in the pot $5, and we paid first, second, and third. That's when Henry and I created our deal. You know.
Yeah.
We were pretty solid, so we'd always take, you know, usually first, second, or third. So we decided that nobody should go home empty-handed. So if I won, I would give him 25% of what I won, and if he won, the opposite. He'd give me 25% of what he won. So, you know, we were always in the money, and it was pretty cool. As long as we stayed first, second, or third.
I've never heard anybody do that before.
Yeah. And we kept that through our whole professional career. You know, even right through Akron, Ohio, the World Championships, everything. Whenever there was money at stake, you know, he'd get 25% of whatever I won.
Okay.
And he'd give me 25% of whatever he won. Because he was really good at both, Henry, tight slalom and giant slalom. I was more giant slalom and, you know, racing, cross country, bank slalom, all that kind of stuff like that there.
Okay. That's interesting. Yeah. I just, you know.
Kept us both in the chips.
That's good. You guys were still making money by that time.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, what do you remember about getting sponsored by Gordon & Smith? It was like, you know, like how did that come about?
Yeah, I think it was kind of performance based. You know, as you started to get a little reputation and you know, do pretty good in slalom racing up at La Costa. The team sponsorship became available. Henry was already on the Gordon & Smith team. So Larry Gordon put me on the Gordon & Smith team. And I was on it. Gosh, that's a hard question to remember. How long was I on that Gordon & Smith team before I was solicited by Hobie Skateboards to go run their team? I was probably a Gordon & Smith team rider for about a year or so, and skated in quite a few events on a Fiberflex, and then subsequently on a Hobie Flex, all made by Mike Gordon from Gordon & Smith. You know,
by Mike Gordon.
Mike Gordon, yeah, he made the skateboards. Gordon Plastics made the skateboards.
Oh, wow, that's right.
For Larry.
Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha. And, okay, now I was wondering.
Yeah, that's how that went. But yeah, it was pretty cool because you got you know, free skateboard, free wheels. You got a little contingency money if you won an event. You know, if you won $100, they sometimes match it and use you in their advertisement and help promote the sale of their skateboards. So it was worked out for everybody. You know, making money skateboarding. Who would have thought?
That's pretty cool. Right? Yeah, back in those days, nobody thought.
It's like, you know, I wasn't good enough to break anybody's surfing, but I could gonna do it on a skateboard.
All right. So who were the guys? Okay, I you know, from what everybody told me, you were generally always in the top three of it. Okay, but who were the other guys that, you know, you would go up on the hill and be like, okay, who do I got to beat? Who's you know, like who's running really good right now?
You know, Mike Williams was tough. You know, sometimes Tommy Ryan would be in there. Bobby Not so much. He wasn't a giant slalom guy, Pierce. He was more
Okay,
like a
he's tight slalom.
tight slalom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Tony did all right too on the Logan Earth skis. He come down and do pretty good now and then. And this was before John Hudson started coming down. From Santa Cruz. He was always tough to beat. But
I remember seeing his name as number one quite a few times too.
Yeah.
So John was a beast too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it always makes me wonder, like you go to each event, and I noticed something in the last slalom event I went to. Like, I don't know who. Do you remember who was setting up the courses back then?
I tell you what. A lot of the times, this sounds funny, but Henry and I would set them up.
Okay.
Because we knew how to do it, but then everybody could pitch in, adjust them, do whatever you want. It wasn't to favor us or do anything. It's just do some nice offset turns and nothing too radical so that people didn't crash and burn regularly. Even though you could crash pretty easily, But that La Costa asphalt was so smooth. It'd be like I'd say it's about 300 grit, so you could slide on it. Yeah, smooth, man. And you just slide and get a little black rash on your leg, go get up and do it again. Nothing gnarly, So and then sometimes other people besides Henry and myself would set it up. Sometimes we'd go up there and it'll be all set up.
Yeah.
But it's funny because we first started out using those construction codes, big gnarly.
The square
with a square base.
Yeah.
Oh, and if you cut that thing just a little too tight,
you're done.
You'd get pitched.
Yeah.
Usually high sided, and you'd get pretty drilled. But then we went to the little ones.
Yeah.
Finally, the baseless ones that you could push out of the way.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't. You got a 0.2 of a second fine for hitting them, but you didn't crash and burn.
I think now it's what, 1 second or
what's a 1 second? 1/10 of a second.
1/10 of a second now,
which was a lot.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the races were very close.
Because you hit one of those cones and it's going to lead you to hit the next three before you get going.
You hit 2 cones and that's it.
Yeah.
You're going to be out of the
out of the running.
Yeah, out of the money. So you wanted to cut it close, but not too close, right?
Yeah. So what's the difference between like tight slalom and just like giant slalom compared to bank slalom as far as like board setups and stuff? Because everything's a little bit different though, right?
Yeah, mostly the wheels. I still rode the same board, almost exclusively the Hobie Flex, Fiber Flex, if you will. Just different sizes and different stiffnesses. I had a good working relationship with Mike Gordon here in Vista. At his plant where he made them all, so I got to test a lot of them, test the flex. Wheels were a big deal. Everything from the Road Riders to Kryptonics, but mostly stiffness and length and wheels.
Just the softness and hardness on the outside, inside out.
If you went too hard a durometer, you'd spin out. And too soft, you had too much traction and slow you down too much. So you had to have everybody pay attention to what wheels everybody was running with.
Okay. Did you have anything to do with helping develop wheels for that? Or
we tested
input
them. I was a sponsored rider for Road Rider Wheels, so we got a nice little monthly stipend, from Road Rider Wheels. They're very generous. Rich Novak up there in Santa Cruz was a distributor there for Road Rider Wheels. Ironically, John Hudson's team up there in Santa Cruz, but they would always be very generous, with sending us the new product to test. It just didn't go to John Hudson, so. But
that's good.
Yeah, that was cool. Rich was very fair, and he goes, "You guys just fight it out on the course,
No.
So we all use the same way. Everybody look at each other's wheels, and go, what's the fastest?
So that's where Novak got his start from. Then was from Road Rider.
Yeah, he had the Road Rider. He had fiberglass, resinol. Rich had his hands in a lot of different business there in Santa Cruz. But yeah.
Okay, so some of the other riders up there, I want to list some names, and I want to hear your opinion.
Okay.
Okay, of some of these guys.
Give me.
Well, first of all, I know like your relationship with Henry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Henry was tough to beat. He was a bigger guy.
Yeah.
And once he got rolling, he could ride really get that skateboard hauling ass.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of weight rolling down that hill. Back then, he was about 25 pounds heavier than the rest of us, and he was a tough guy to beat. Very good at tight slalom.
Strong.
Yeah,
He was strong.
Good
He's
surfer.
a bull, man.
Good
Yeah.
surfer. You know,
Yeah.
we always used to fool around with each other's chests. You know, mine's about this big and his is about that big. You know, and he was a great broad-shouldered dude. And yeah, good buddy. You know, dated my sister for a long, long time, and we're still best friends. We're still best friends. Love him. He was really good at tight slalom too. Excellent giant slalom rider as well.
All right. Well, what do you remember about Piercy?
Bobby, you know, Bobby was. I always the first thing I think about when I think about Bobby is style. You know, he was always you know, dapperly dressed. You know, even on a skateboard, and had a lot of style. Great tight slalom guy. Not very good. Sorry, Bobby. At giant slalom.
Okay.
That wasn't his thing, but tight slalom, he'd get that thing pumping.
He was like a skier, water skier guy.
Good
you know,
form
like
and
all that.
He was really good at tight slalom. Him and Henry battled it out a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. But giant slalom, he wasn't up there too often, even at La Costa. He just did it for the fun, you know, and I don't think he cared too much.
For the girls.
Yeah, girls, and just to look cool.
Yeah.
But he was good. Yeah. Him and his cohort, Tommy Ryan, too. Tommy was great, too. Tommy was always up there in the top group. He was a tough.
Do you still talk to any of these guys now?
You know, I see
other
them.
than Henry.
No, I saw. We've done a couple reunions at La Costa. Sponsored by Di Dutzen. We did some 60-year-old plus slalom riding, and I think last time I was up there with Tommy, he crashed and burned, and he just said, "Man, that's it for me, dude." He limped off that course. That was it for him. So you just, you know, you get to a certain point, you just don't want to fall down on asphalt anymore. Period. So
if I can't outrun it, I'm not going that fast anymore.
We can't anymore.
Yeah, I can't outrun it anymore. So
just maybe 2 steps and you just crash and burn, right?
I was playing around on an electric board.
Oh yeah.
You know, those things go about 30 miles an hour, man. And I had to go check the whole area out that I was riding on because I didn't want to fall because I know I'm just going to go down hard. So
those days were older. And then the balance, you know, those cat-like reflexes we had when we were youngsters, you know, gone.
Yep. All right. What about Hudson? Now,
Hudson. He was a good slalom racer. You know, very conservative in his moves, you know, but picked a great line and, you know, great skateboarder, period. He's in the Hall of Fame. He was always tough to beat. You know, if I looked at the record, we split it up pretty good, I think.
Okay.
You know, in my best of my memory, you know, I won a couple of the big ones. You know, I won the World Championship in Akron, Ohio. And then the big one was a Hester 500. That was, you know, on Black Hill. You know, with the #1 jersey. That was good. But,
well, we're going to have photos of that coming up.
Cool.
But
John was good.
Okay.
And excellent at downhill. He was...
he was a downhill.
Like a yoga guy. He could tuck into this. That's why we named him the Hut Tuck. You know, I blow him away out of the gate, you know. And then he'd always say, "God, you'd make me so nervous when he'd blow in front of me." And then I'd just look over, and then he'd be just passing me by in this little ball of tuck, you know, with his shoulder.
And he had the helmet too.
Yeah.
He had the helmet that was different than anybody else.
He could get about a foot lower on the. I was too stiff, you know, and bulky, you know, muscular than John. You know, John could just bend right into a noodle deal, get super low and aerodynamic. You know, always. You know, it was tough to beat.
Yeah. All right. What about the Logan brothers?
Oh, they were fun. You know, Bruce was hysterical. He'd get up there and we'd get the course all set up, and he'd just nose wheelie down the whole thing, doing about 30, you know, around the cones with a nose wheelie all the way to the bottom. We just blow. It used to piss us off because we couldn't do it.
Oh hell yeah! Like who could?
Yeah, and Brian had toy with it too. You know. And of course, Laura Thornhill, she was out there. She was a good little skater too. But Brad, everybody, all the Logan, they were all good skaters. Tony, of course, you know, was a Loganerski, and he was obviously the best of them, you know. But they had those big old Loganerski boards, you know. And we had fiber flexes and
Made a difference.
turners. I think so.
Yeah.
They were just better equipped to load and unload.
Yeah, right. You'd think you'd be able to get a little bit
a little more
push out of them. Okay,
right.
than just a blank board. So good for Tony to be able to keep up on just
Tony, what was he? Skateboarder of the year a couple times. He's obviously.
I think he got it once.
Did he?
I think so. Yeah. I think
78 he was skateboarder of the year. Okay.
Yeah, and then the next year he got 2. Yeah. And I remember after he got his trophy, he threw it in the trash can. Olsen won it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Steve Olsen. You talk about a fashion maven. I saw him at the Hall of Fame. He's a great skater, bulky, really good.
All right. Yeah. What about Hackett? Did you see Hackett on the hill a lot or what?
David was, he's still one of my sports heroes. Fit, he still does it today. He was good. Tough to beat, strong, good skater. Always a lot of respect for David Hackett.
All right.
Good rider.
Who up on the hill did I miss? That you remember that? Oh, Chris Yandel.
Yandel, he did a lot of barefoot skating, as I recall, and a huge surf influence in his skateboarding. So kind of a little bit wider on the turns, not as disciplined in picking that straight line down. So, but he did good. Yeah. He had a lot of, thirds and fourths, I think, but, like I say, good skater, but just wasn't in a 1-2 position.
Yeah. I don't know if that was his mentality. He worked at the surf shop. Yeah. And he seemed to be that giver.
He was kind of reminded me of Tom Sims a little bit too.
Okay.
Stylish, a lot of surf aspect in his skateboarding, but not really for lack of a better word, asshole or haul and ass guy, right? Really. Yeah. More like, hey, that looks cool.
Yeah.
And almost like surfing a wave through a slalom course, you're going, okay, well, that's good. He's out. Not being too hard on you boys, I hope, but it was what it was, right?
All right. Well, here's a tough question. Now that you brought that up, who were the guys that were more of like just complainers, or just guys who were more of a pain in the ass than anything else?
I think about that, and I thought about it a lot when I recall my skateboarding career. I never really met any assholes. All the skaters were pretty cool dudes. There are no losers. No guys that pissed me off or anything. We all got along. We all traded secrets on how to do it and shared ideas. Not a bunch of whiners, really. Just a bunch of guys wanting to have a good time, right?
Did you ever like jump over cars and all that kind of stuff? High jump or any of that stuff?
No high jump.
No freestyle?
No free. I used to love doing I think my record was maybe 360s, where Richie Carrasco's doing 120 of them,
Yeah.
But I love to do little kick flips and nose wheelies and fool around, power slides, stuff like that. There, racing was really our passion, but just to free skate was fun too. A lot like surfing, and enjoyed that a lot. But never really got into that. I just was flat out not very good at it. Simple. But I was
so you stay away from it. I got it, man.
I didn't want to get laughed at, right? But,
all right. So when you were, did you have any kind of commercial deals or anything? Like when you were with GNS? I mean, was there any,
you mean like television commercials?
Yeah, like commercials. Did you get to do any of that kind of stuff?
Nothing with Gordon Smith, but I did a few with Hobie. When I became the team coordinator for the Hobie team, we did a couple of television appearances. I was on the Dinah Shore show with Fred Astaire. Nephew had given him a skateboard, and he went out and here's one of the greatest dancers that ever lived, and he broke his wrist. And I guess Diana Shore thought it'd be a kick to have the professional Hobie skateboard team on her show. So we all went up, me and Weed and Hitchcock,
Wow.
And there was Fred Astaire. We gave him a brand new Hobie skateboard with Dinosaur on the show, and here he goes, "Oh hell no!" He goes, I'm not ever getting on one of those things again." But we didn't get paid for any of that stuff. I was on a salary with Hobie, monthly salary that was pretty good back in the '70s, and they also contributed. If I won something, to contingency money, they'd match it. So if I won $500, they'd give me $500. And, I had a little expensive account. I was running the show. We did all those Sears and Penny's giant Hobie professional all over the country shows. We'd get 3,000 or 4,000 people all over the country coming out to the Sears to meet the Hobie team. We'd sign autographs. We'd do some freestyle stuff. Weed, Hitchcock, Steve Shipp, Ed Nadlin. Whoever could make it.
Well, I think you just named all Hall of Famers, didn't you?
Yeah, all Hall of Fame, all before me, for the record. Yeah. Way to go, you guys.
Yeah, man.
But I might be leaving. And Kim Cespedes, she was out there with us a couple times. That was good. We promoted safe skateboarding, and we spread skateboarding the vibe across the country. Yeah, pretty bitchin'.
That's awesome. Okay, back when Gordon Smith, real quick. Mm-hmm. Did you go internationally? Did we do tours anywhere?
Not with Gordon Smith. With Hobie, we did. We did about 3 world tours over to Europe, and it was all set up. And we'd be on radio shows, and we'd skateboard, do some of the freestyle stuff at some prominent London nightclubs. And we were actually given the key to the city of Portsmouth, which is somewhere in southern London area there somewhere, but by the Lord Mayor. We got a big key.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we were treated like...
Did anybody get to keep that, or did they just they gave it right, they took it right back?
Well, it was kind of
your honorary member.
It was a big ass key, so I don't think we...
No, I just want to put it right here.
Yeah, but I don't know what happened to that key. That's a good question, Dave. I don't know what happened to it.
It's in your garage. You just didn't view it.
Yeah, it could be. Who knows?
Yeah,
right?
Right.
Yeah, I have a...
But we did a few of those, and we did... And then I did a very nice summer camp with Stacy Peralta and John Hudson, as a matter of fact, in Rättvik, Sweden. We did a 6-week camp over there where Stacy taught freestyle skating. John did some downhill. I did some slalom. And, it was by our European distributor, Euron. I forgot his last name, but that was cool. In Rättvik, Sweden, up there close to the Arctic Circle. That was really cool. But the Hobie team went over to Europe 3 or 4 times.
Okay.
Just bitching.
All right. So anyway, we're skating along, GNS, moving into Hobie.
Yep.
Got a Who's Hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
cool. All of a sudden I was doing pretty good competitively, and so that came along. So
right. Well, you got a lot of new, really cool nicknames from that.
Yeah. Right.
Bob's Who's Hot. I think that it was Hester that made the comments.
Probably.
And let's see. You were known as Ventura Bob, King of the Mountain Bob, Mr. Arizona, King of La Costa, the Man to Beat. That's coming from a lot of people who really respected your skating back then.
Yeah, I was all good friends too, and competitors. I mean, we love to compete, but when you're in that gate, you look over and I had a pretty good track record. So you look over and you go, "Oh, fuck, Skoldberg." Yeah.
I mean, we all had that, though. Yeah, you know what I mean? We all had that.
I'd look over and I'd go, "Oh, no, Hudson or Henry, or any of the good guys." You just go, "My work's cut out for me." It's, you make one mistake, like anything at that level, racing, and that's it. You're out of the top. Hit some cones, flop, crash and burn.
Did you ever mess with any of your competitors? Like mental games, head games?
Oh, yeah.
Stuff like that?
All the time.
Come on, give me something.
Oh, gosh.
Come on, what was it? You remember anything? Because I know when I was doing it, there was times where people that I would be worried about skating and beating. You know, we'd send like a 12-pack of beer over to their hotel or something the night before.
Right.
Go out to the mall and tell all the girls like, hey, we're staying in this hotel and this is the room number. Come over and party.
We'd, like I told you earlier, we'd look at the wheels, and see what was right for that particular surface. We'd put on the wrong wheels and say, I'm going to roll with these, and everybody would race back. And, you're going to go with the 85 drummer. Oh, that seems kind of hard.
Yeah.
You might spin out. No, I practice. These are great. And then we'd quickly go back before your
more
turn
speed.
was up. You'd put on the 75s, more sticky, and watch these. We do stuff like that. Not really fool with their equipment too much. Didn't want anybody to get hurt, but there was just a lot of mental barbing going back and forth. Hey, good luck,
for the most part.
Yeah. Just tongue in cheek, and I hope you eat shit. No,
of course,
stuff like that.
Of course. Yeah. Okay. All right. So leaving GNS, pretty difficult thing to do. It's kind of a family.
Yeah. Right. It was. I always loved my time there and got my start there, of course. But, they had the big gun there. Henry was the man on
absolutely.
Smith, So I said, there's not room for both of us, right? So, and then I was going to be the head guy at Hobie. So, and it was a good transition. Hobie Alter was a super cool cat, another lifestyle guy, the Hobie Cat, Hobie Hawk, Hobie Surfboards, right up my alley. He was a great guy. And, of course, the Hobie team was run by Cash McCandless, who's super cool cat.
Okay, so help me out here with this, okay? Because, Hobie, I think everybody that was on that team at some point virtually went in the Hall of Fame or is going to go into the Hall of Fame here real soon.
Yeah, you've got
like top riders. Was your role to put people on the team later when you became, or did Cash do that? Was he the guy that was the team manager? Who recruited?
Well, I think Cash did a little bit of it, but I was always asked to look at the new talent, and see if they, were a good fit and could add to the team's persona, But the team, Weed, Hitchcock, look at those guys. Those were good skateboarders.
Amazing.
Ed Nadalin, Kim Cespedes,
another one.
You're right.
But later, I just didn't know, like Dwayne Peters, who
discovered him.
Did Dale Smith what was his role there?
Dale was always in there, Smith, and he knew he'd go to all the events.
Everything,
He was the guy that really, he was a good talent spotter. And, he was in the streets, at the bowls, at the ramp, he knew what was going on. So he was involved in that process. And, we got Charlie Ransom, we got Steve. And Evans. Those guys were awesome skateboarders, tough to beat.
And
so
those guys had a reputation.
Yeah, they did. And we got Kurt Kimball, Chris Miller.
Miller was on there?
Miller was a Hobie guy, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, he was. And you know how good he was.
Was that after
that
GNS?
Was a little later
or was that before? Okay, later on he did, huh?
Yeah, there was a lot of, some team jumping occurred,
That's the flow. You guys were just talking about these guys.
Yeah. But you're right, Dave. We had a hell of a team. The team was awesome.
Okay.
And then, we were able to take that show on the road and promote it. We took it to Europe. Like I said, I think 1 year I was home maybe a month. The rest of the time was on the road. That was my job. I was, my nickname was Popeye. I had to keep those dudes in line. I was a little older because, Skip Hitchcock.
Another Hall of Famer.
Weed, they don't want to do what you tell them to do, right? You kind of have to make them a little bit. But having said that, they were always, always perform, never missed a show. We'd have 3,000 or 4,000 people, and they'd be, hungover or whatever. Come on, guys! They'd rally,
put their head down, and go out and do it.
Absolutely, really, truly professional. And we'd get it done.
That was one of my questions later, is about babysitting these guys when they're like that.
A little bit of strong arming, but you know, we all got along really good, and we had a great time on the road. Really had a fun time.
Okay, so what exactly was your position at Hobie when you were there? Like,
well, I think,
other than team rider,
I think Mike was the team captain.
Mike
of the
Weed.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was the team coordinator. So Mike was, you know, I kind of organized all the hotel stuff.
Wow.
The cars, and you know, I had the credit.
Yeah, you had to.
I had the credit card. You know,
okay.
So if they weren't nice to me or didn't do what I told them to do, I'm going to go out to a nice dinner, and you guys aren't.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that was my job, to keep everybody in line, make sure nobody got in any trouble. Didn't destroy the hotel room, stuff like that there, you know.
So what was the worst thing you remember happening?
The only reprimand I ever got was, I think we're in New York, and some swank hotel, and we just done a big show, maybe 4,000 people, and Mike and and Sketch wanted to treat themselves, and order some room service. That guy go, hey, guys, absolutely, you guys were phenomenal. Go ahead and do it. And so, they had the room next to me. I had my own room, and I go over there, and there's a couple cases of Heineken, and there's some crab Madagascar and all this kind of stuff in the 70s. And I think the room service bill for that night was $900 in 1975 or 6. $900, and I got a call from Cash, and I says, "Say, Bob, he says, what's going on out there, dude? I go, I let these guys order some room service. They'd done a hell of a job on the tour. This was one of our last stops. So I said, yeah, go ahead, order some room service. I didn't know they were going to order, a couple cases of Heineken and crab Madagascar and all that kind of stuff, So that didn't happen again, but they deserved it. And everybody kind of laughed it off. And if you can do that, it's a little expensive, but.
So what would you say the team was? Like 13 guys, 15 guys,
probably
20 guys?
Yeah. And, as things came up, this one couldn't make it, that one.
Right.
So we all, but I was on every one of them because I was the guy that, kind of had to keep it all together, and my job was easy. I did the emceeing, so I'd talk about them all, talk about the tricks, maybe run some cones, and they had the hard work. They had to do the freestyle routines, and that's tough in front of a bunch of people. And
hey, I've done it. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And boy, they were good. I think Mike won several competitions, and so did Sketch, and Steve Chip was good. Ed, of course, all good.
All those guys.
Yeah, they were
won everything.
Jim,
at some point.
Very strong, strong guys. Sketch could, he was a gymnast. Yeah. And, that guy could do a lot of different gorilla grip, fly over the stuff, holding the Sketch Hitchcock boards, that he made that were pretty neat. Foam sandwich resin. Those were neat.
Madeline, man, he was unbelievable.
Yeah, he was really good. Good
skating
guitar player, too.
Yeah.
So take the guitar on the road and play a little Super Trap. Oh, yeah. Give a little bit.
Oh, my gosh. All right. So
we had fun.
Okay. So we're still cruising with Hobie. Yeah. Tell me about what happened at Catalina Classic.
Oh, man. Yeah. Shoot. I happened to be we were on the European leg of one of our Hobie outings over in Europe, our Safe Skateboarding World Tour, and I was obviously wanting to skate in the Catalina Classic. Right, it was a big event,
huge,
made for TV deal. I think it was CBS Sports Spectacular. I think,
yes,
I remember right.
Yeah.
And to make a long story short, I was on a Lufthansa flight coming home, and they had the North Atlantic air controllers strike, right? And honestly, this is when people could puff, and I was on it with my wife, or we were married then, I think. I don't know, I can't remember. We were on a Lufthansa in Germany trying to get out of there for 9 hours on the tarmac. While they sorted out, there were no air traffic controllers. So I got home a day late, for the Catalina Classic, and I think I took a helicopter over there because I was late. I got there, and there was a big, I don't know who was behind this, but there was some effort to keep me out of the competition, obviously. And I don't know who was, but I got over there and they said, you missed practice, you're out. And I go, what? So what? I missed, it was no fault of my own.
Yeah.
So I said, you're out. So I didn't get to skate or practice. So I missed it anyway because I was the next day. And so they had some behind closed door meeting with, our vice president, Cash McCandless, and I think it was the Santa Cruz guys or whatever, because they were sponsoring that particular event. And first thing you know, I was in my hotel room, and it was about 7 o'clock in the morning. I get a knock on the door. Steve, he says, I got some good news and some bad news. I go, lay it on me. And he goes, you're back in the competition is the good news. The bad news is you're first, get your stuff, get up on the hill, and you get no practice. None. After everybody got to run the whole thing the day before. So my very first run of that, and originally I think that thing was slated to be the fastest guy down the hill would win the Catalina Classic. So that very first time, no practice, no nothing, I turned the fastest time of the entire event, right? Then I hear that, okay, well, wait a minute now. Now it's going to be the best 2 times. And it's going to be an average, so.
Don't you love how they changed shit back in the day?
Exactly.
You had no idea, and they're just like, oh, we're going to change it.
So that's when Jim Lampley stuffed the mic in my face. I got a little squirrely and got that nice little CBS Sports Spectacular blurb on their silver anniversary when I said I just got a little squirrely and just blow it, which I did. I got a little squirrely. And anyway, my fastest time and that time were good enough for second place. And John Hudson, I think, won the thing with 2, not the fastest one, but his average time beat me by like a 1/10 of a second or so. But I didn't get any practice, so I felt pretty good about it. And I won, some money. And I think Henry won the tight slalom over there. I think so. So we shared a little bit of coin. And it was good. I got a nice article on sport. The guy from Sports, Wide World of Sports, or no, what was it? Sports Illustrated, thank you. Yeah, so he did a nice article. He asked me what happened. I told him just what I just told you, and he goes, wow, that's kind of heavy. And, I'd done pretty good that year, and, I was still the guy to beat and stuff like that. So anyway, that was that, and I got second place instead of first.
The Santa Cruz guys were pretty good about getting the rules changed to benefit their guys.
It seemed like it, and I don't exactly recall how that whole thing transpired, but I understood it was the fastest guy, and then it was it's the fastest guy over 2 times averaged, and I went, all right, but that was the way that went.
So then, after that, what happened?
After that, packed it up, went home.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, just went home.
I thought you had to go back to Europe or something.
No. That was the end of the tour. I'd been over there for, probably 3 or 4 weeks. So it was good to get home and, a
little bit of money in your pocket?
A little bit of money, yeah. I was paid.
Thanks, John.
I was paid fairly well for a skateboarder in the 70s, so that was good. And I worked every day and skateboarded, and it was, pretty cool.
What was amazing to me about my memories of Hobie is they had everything. You guys, they did pads, they did shoes, they had the best equipment, the best team riders.
Yeah, I think the deal was, in looking at that safe skateboarding deal, you're right, all the safety gear and all that skateboards, and we had Greg Weaver's boards. We had a nice selection of skateboards.
We didn't even mention Weaver. I know. Forgot about Greg. There's another one. Sorry, Greg.
The star of the Hobie team. Great skateboard. Right? Super stylish dude. A bunch of skateboarder magazine covers, I think. Greg was super cool cat. And he made a lot of money because his board, I think, was our #1 seller. I think for a little while, but if as I recall, if you bought $1 million, which was a lot in the 70s, for a number of Sears stores or JCPenney's or whatever, it would come with the World Championship Hobie Safe skateboarding team, and they would do a demo
Wow.
of skateboarding at your store. All radio advertised. We'd go on the local news. It was a big deal.
That is huge.
And it
Yeah.
was well
Great.
orchestrated
Yeah.
and well organized. And we were always at a nice hotel. And we'd go on the local news and say, "Yeah, come on out and see us. We'll be at the Sears at 24th Street tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning for a couple hours. We're going to sign autographs, give away some product." And we, like I said, honestly, we'd get between 2,000 and 4,500 people at these gigs.
Yeah.
And they'd watch the skateboarding. I'd do the MC work. They'd watch Weed and Hitchcock and Ship and Kim and everybody do their thing. And then they'd pile into the store and start buying Hobie stuff,
Yeah.
So it's a win for everybody. And we'd sign, honestly, just autographs till we had big posters of the Hobie team to your.
Do you still have it? You still have like your posters and stuff?
I might have a poster. I don't know. I got a bunch of stuff, but I couldn't even find the world championship board to bring up here. It's around somewhere. But, who knows where it is.
That's so funny. I have the same problem with my stuff. I'm like, I don't know where that is, man. I have it.
I know I got it.
Yeah. I know I got it. 3 moves later, and I'm like, I have no idea where the hell I put it.
I do know that I had all my trophies outside my house, and when I lived in Penasquitos, then we moved to La Jolla, and then they were outside the house there for a while, and especially the Magic Mountain one, I should have kept it. It's about 5 feet high, and a big cup, and it was the king of the mountain, right? Because it was cross country, slalom, all kinds of stuff. Sorry, Tony. You wanted that.
It's somewhere at your house, huh?
And then, I'll tell you another quick, funny Tony Alva story. It was funny. He when he was in obviously one of the stars of Stacy's movie Dogtown, and Stacy had asked me a couple times, "Bob, Tony's calling you out. I got to get you up there to get you on film and all this kind of stuff." But I lived in La Jolla, worked in Orange County, and I missed about 4 or 5 appointments with Stacy, and he was pretty mad at me because I just never showed up. Sorry. But Tony, in that movie, he said, "Well, why are you going to Del Mar?" And he goes, "I'm going down there to kick Skoldberg and Hester's ass." Yeah. And, I'd see Tony at the ASR shows, and I pulled him aside. I said, "Oh, going down there to kick Skoldberg," after I saw the movie, it was a big deal. And I said, "Going down there to kick Skoldberg's and Hester's ass, huh?" And I go, "And Tony, and you never did you?" And he goes, "Shh, don't tell anybody that." We had a lot of fun.
Oh, man.
I love Tony. He's a great guy.
Well, anyway, we were, one of the podiums we have is our P10. We have a bunch of pictures of you on, winning different contests, or at least being in the top 3 a lot. So anyway,
I got lucky. I was pretty good, but I got lucky.
So how long were you doing that? How long were you competing downhill?
From 75, I think, to 80, about, when skateboarding kind of took a little turn and rollerblading came into play or whatever. I don't know. I can't remember the exact.
Rollerblade disco?
Yeah. The inline stuff, But, about 5 years. Pretty heavy, all the events. Signal Hill only ran for 2 because I think there were too many accidents on the hill, right?
Yeah, people got hurt.
Terry Nails got run over on the boulevard, broke a couple legs. That was not good.
Yeah. There was some. That was a dangerous hill, man.
Yeah, it was.
We didn't know any better.
Hey, 60 miles an hour, with, your kisser about a foot off the asphalt is pretty heavy, You're just staring at the double yellow line, going as fast as you could go, So, and then stopping was kind of a bear.
Yeah.
You didn't have very much room. They knocked that off, but it was a fun event.
And you say that the city of Long Beach actually put a thing there?
They did a whole documentary, these 2 filmmakers, and it's in their city library. They did some kind of. Well,
there's like a movie on Signal Hill. Is that the one you're talking about?
It might be. It might be. But the city of Long Beach sponsored it.
Okay.
As a kind of a historical record of skateboarding in Long Beach.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah.
There it is.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. That was super rad. I was like, over there probably about, I don't know, a year ago, and I kind of looked around over there. I couldn't find anything.
Yeah, no,
I would love to have gone and seen this kind of thing, man.
It was quite an event. They'd have 5,000 people on both sides of the street at Signal Hill. It was awesome. I think Garrison Hitchcock, Skitch's brother, was our downhill. He had a beautiful skate car, and he was a big downhill guy. I wanted to mention his brother there, Garrison, a good skateboarder. But everybody'd come out of the woodwork, and in their skate cars too. They had two divisions: the unlimited, which was skate cars, and then the stand-up, which was stand-up.
Right.
And
and you did both.
I did both.
You did both. All right. And you had your car. Who built your car for you?
My car was built by Ermico, which was independent trucks.
Okay.
Fausto and Eric up there in the Bay Area, and I but I didn't do anything really aerodynamically like Henry did with White Lightning.
Right.
Who was the other guy? Dillard. Who was the other guy that won?
Hudson had a car.
He didn't have a car. Hudson did not have a car.
Oh, he was trying to sell one the other day.
Was he?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, he told me. Yeah. Really? Yeah. Hudson. John Hudson.
Oh, Hudson. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was in the unlimited division, right?
Yeah, because I was just wondering, like
Houston. Is it Houston? Houston. Yeah.
I said Hudson.
Yeah, you said Hudson.
No, Hudson, but John Hudson, right?
Right.
Yeah, he had a car.
Yes, he did.
Yes. And Hudson, like, why didn't Ermico sponsor him? Because
I don't know.
Was he smarter?
I don't think he liked it. It's a little.
Like, I'm not doing that. It's fucking
it's a little hectic. There was some. I remember at the Akron, Ohio one when the California Freeformer guys. Ty Page and who's the other guy?
Oh my God, I forgot about Ty Page.
Who's the other guy? Bob somebody. I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. But anyway, he crashed into the asphalt curb and into the observation tower halfway down the course at the Soapbox Derby. Bob Bowen. Bowen. Yeah, wasn't that it? Was that his first name? No, Bob Bowen.
Bowen.
Yeah.
Oh, Bob Bowen. Yes.
Ty Page.
Yes, I remember him now.
That's
right.
Remember Henry and I were talking to those guys at the top of the hill, and I go, they have these beautiful metal flake California Freeformer skate cars. And I go, hey, God, you guys, we didn't even know you guys were doing this stuff. And I think Bowen said, well, we aren't. They gave us these skate cars, so we're supposed to get in them and go down the hill. And I don't think they even practiced. And they were a nervous wreck, And then, of course, Bowen got a little squirrely at the top there. And Henry and I were in the observation deck, and he hit the asphalt curb and then hit the 4x4 holding up the deck. And the whole thing and we're trying to get him the Zerk fittings out of the car and everything like that. And he's laying in the thing. I think he was about 6'2", and after that, he was about 6'0",
Wow.
Yeah, that was it for him. I don't think he never climbed back into one of those things again. But,
can't blame him.
We opened it up and he was laying in there and he goes, I go, God, are you okay, man? And he goes, oh, man, this is so hectic. He didn't, they had no business being in those things. We practiced at La Costa in skate cars, right? The brakes and the parachute and all that stuff, because if they didn't stop, just ask Terry Nails, who, his didn't work, and he scooted onto the boulevard at Signal Hill. So
he went through a barrier too, didn't he? Yeah, he went through the barrier.
They had the hay bales.
Yeah,
I was down there right when that happened, and the skate cars were super low and aerodynamic, and he split the hay bales, and then the tennis net was too high. And he went running to the tennis net. I went, oh my God, he's going onto the boulevard. And he goes out there and then thump. His skate car was like this,
Wow.
Oh my God, I think he broke 2 legs. That was it for him. He's a musician from up the Bay Area, and everybody's, oh yeah, I can do this. Get me in there. I'll go down there.
So did you see that movie on Signal Hill? Did you ever watch it?
I think I saw some of it, yeah.
Okay.
But I don't think it was widely circulated.
Yeah, and you know what? It kind of came out, and then it was like online, And I think they were waiting for someone to sponsor it or to get it put into something. Yeah, it kind of fizzled, but it's got some amazing history in that.
Yeah,
there's no question about it. And some of the interviews that I saw in it were really funny. They were good. You
Who
could
was the
see.
guy, the promoter? Was it Donnie Branker?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I think so.
But I know it's online. You can still see it
can you see
online
it
if you
online?
pull it on up. But it's that's where I first saw it, was on the computer. Maybe I saw like a 5-minute trailer or something of it.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but
I think it was nicely done. I think that's some good footage. I mean, the footage from that race was pretty incredible. I mean, it was pretty ballsy going down that hill.
It showed wrecks and the whole 9 yards.
I think if I recall, the grade at Signal Hill is 14%.
Yeah, big.
You know, it said, you saw that sign. It said no pedestrians, no bicycles. You're not even supposed to walk up. And it's like,
yeah. We'll take a skate cart. We've never driven down it. That's great.
Yeah.
All right.
Basically, we're dropping in with down.
Pretty much. A little longer, a little stiff, really stiff, no flex, and maybe a good 36 inches at least, I think. A little longer, and just getting the fairing, push as hard as you could till your foot couldn't keep up, and then just go into a tuck. See how fast you could go.
So, okay. So what kind of injuries did you, what was the worst thing that happened to you?
The worst thing, remember it was called Another Roadside Attraction, and it was out of Colorado. It was up at all the resorts in Colorado, put on by a bunch of guys, and all the big names were there. And I spun out in a downhill up there one time and went into the granite and carved a big hole in my elbow, and that was my worst wreck, and I had to have a tube in it for about 8 weeks to drain the gravel and the stuff. That was the worst one. I just kind of centrifugal force went outside the line and went into the dirt.
Too hard of wheels, huh?
Luckily, luckily I didn't hit any trees,
Yeah, okay. Anyway, well, it just brings me up. We sponsor Claire.
Oh.
Or they kind of, we help them out where we can. And it basically is really good for your joints. It's just a kind of a healing process. It's all natural. And
I'll definitely try it out.
It's sponsored by... Okay, and right after that, thank you for watching the commercial. Please, if you guys are watching on YouTube, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, the like button, and don't be afraid to share this with everybody. We'd appreciate it always. So let's get back to the interview. All right, so let's see, where do we got? We got Hurt. What do you think of today's racing now, man? Talk about...
well, that what's that place called?
Are you still following racing?
I go to them when I can. As a matter of fact, it's the Pump House right there off Interstate 50. I live about 10 minutes from that. Okay. So I go over there and watch those guys. It's pretty impressive. Dave Hackett still races there now and then, and I go down there and watch the kids. There's a whole bunch of up and coming good riders. I mean, fast, I don't particularly like that course because it's got 2 asphalt curbs that run right down the middle of the course, which is not good.
This is at the Pump House now, like right off the 15?
Yes.
Right there,
the course runs right down the middle of it. And it's it's not very wide. Right. And if you fall down, you don't want to hit the damn curb, Yeah. But I enjoy watching the races there, and
I've gone to the last couple races there. It's been it's been fun.
You and I went to Vista.
Oh yeah.
It's really wide.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it's really wide.
Yeah, they've been moving those things around a lot.
Keeps me pretty informed. Whenever I can, I like to go to them. I like to watch them. I like to meet the kids and say hey. And
Well, the last one I know, well, not the last one, the one before that, Dennis Scheffelt was there.
Oh, yeah.
Bo Brown is at all of them as well.
Yeah, Dennis is always there, right.
And who else? The last one's probably Hester. Henry was at the last one.
Henry MC.
Yeah.
The Bueller Camp in tight slalom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him and Don. It was cool.
Oh yeah, yeah. Don's at everyone. You know, he's commentating them all.
Do you see any of the old timers? You know, when anybody my age?
Yeah, no. Oh no, not racing.
No,
not racing. Well, no, that's not. Well, yeah.
No,
you know, there's only 63 is the oldest, I think.
Okay.
63.
Yeah, because you know it's funny. It kind of hits you. You know, as you get a little older, all of a sudden your sense of balance is a little shaky, you know, and you never think it's going to happen to you when you had such good balance before. Mm-hmm. Then you just get a little older and you know, Jesus, I could get hurt.
Absolutely, man. No, I totally hear you on that. Well, what do you think about these racers that are doing 90 miles an hour now?
Yeah, I've heard a lot about that. You know, I'd like to see it, actually.
It's online.
You know, I'd like to see it.
Yeah, man.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, he's going 90, just over 90. Santa Cruiser.
Where are they doing that at?
I think it's up in
Northern California.
Yeah, it was in NorCal.
Really?
Yeah. It's a really super long grade, like a 3.5% grade.
It's got to be steeper than hell because
at the very top, it's like Signal Hill. It drops off and then it just mellows out.
You could, because of wind resistance, you can only go so fast, you know, without an engine.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'd like to see that. I'd love to see it.
It's pretty amazing. I watched it online, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, you know, and they have the thing on them to show them. Yeah, the speed gun on, and I'm just like.
Is 90 the world record now?
I think it's just over 90 now.
91.
Yeah.
Kidding.
Yeah.
We on our Skateboard Nation, that opening guy on the down, that's him doing the world record.
Wow.
That's why we put that in there, because that's awesome.
I'm gonna check that out. That's ballsy. You know?
Yeah, standing up, going 90 miles an hour, stand up. Yeah, insane.
You could get hurt.
You could definitely get hurt. So tell me about your interview, your skateboard interview. Well, that was in skateboarder.
Yeah, skateboarder. I think that was with Warren Bolster, I think.
Okay.
And Warren was a good friend, you know. Yeah. Sorry to see him go early, you know.
Yeah. We've lost a lot of people.
I know.
A lot of great people. Sketch.
Yeah, I know.
You know, that's
Mike.
too early. Yeah.
Yeah, they all passed.
Yeah, especially Mike. That was another one. Because I looked up to Mike when I was a kid.
Sure. He was an awesome surfer, a great skateboarder. But I think he got cancer or something.
Yeah. That's what it was.
The interview was with Warren Bolster. You know, we were playing some ping pong there. I think he was always fooling around with the slow motion stuff. You know, Warren was, and I think we talked a lot about Europe. You know, I wrote a couple articles for Skateboarder magazine regarding our travels over there, which were all good, but. You know, I haven't read that Skateboarder magazine interview in a long time. I almost forgot what's in it. You know, but.
It's online. You can look it online. But no, I just what I found fascinating about it was that you had a lot of pictures of you skating vert in it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed skate vert. But I did not like falling down, but because you know it's not like sliding; it's more like thump.
Yeah,
you know it hurts. But I could always I could only do backside over the coping. You know.
No, that's not true.
I think so. I don't think I did a bunch of front.
No, I've got proof.
That side right there, and then there's a front side right there.
No, that's front side right there. The tracker and then
that's back.
And then here, where's this?
Some pool that looks like
Spring Valley.
That's Spring Valley.
That's Spring Valley.
Yeah.
But no, the bigger one was the front side grind at Vista, which I was like, wow.
The fun part was when Henry and I first did that stuff, we'd take those fiber flexes, go right up on carve the tile at first, and then get those fiber flexes really going and just go right along the coping and drop back in. That was pretty hard to do on a little. But there's a.
That's a Vista, man, and that coping stuck out. Yeah, that coping stuck out 3 inches at least, and there was like maybe an inch of vert in that pool. So that was a tough pool to
I
skate
could
right
never
there.
get air though. You know,
Yeah.
I could never grab the. I couldn't even bend over to grab the rail. So stiff. That's why I was always so impressed with guys that just. I think we first saw that in a pool in La Jolla, Henry and I, in about 1974, when we saw some guy launch right out of the pool. It was just.
Where was this at?
In La Jolla.
Oh, La Jolla.
Some backyard pool. We were just blown away that somebody could. And then drop back in on solid vertical, you know, mind-boggling to see it.
Yeah.
You know, and then of
For the
course,
first time.
judging, you know, the Hester Pool Series,
Right.
we saw a lot of incredible maneuvers for the first time ever. You know, Weed, I think, was the first one to do a kick flip on vertical. You know, kick flip and then come back down.
Okay.
I think. If I'm.
Yeah. The only. I mean that. Probably. I mean, you know what? I remember seeing somebody, I think, doing that at Carlsbad in the little round bowl, little round top bowl.
Yeah.
I don't remember who it was,
but never on our pool.
No.
I think Weed was.
And then
Ty Page do it at Buena Vista.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
As soon as it was out, you know, these guys are so adept. They just pick it up and boom.
Well, you didn't
then
see.
Everybody's doing it.
Yeah, but you didn't see too many people doing that in the competition. I never in a competition. I never saw it.
Set it up.
Yeah, and then yeah, but I mean, how rad is it? I mean, Lane Oaks did 360 spin, I guess. Yeah, you know, and that was super rad. He did that in the contest, which was super rad.
I always remember.
He was the first person I ever saw do that.
I always remember the Upland contest where they came out of the big pipe into the pool.
Yeah.
That was something.
Yeah, that was
rock and roll blasting and
yeah.
You know,
Tim Martin doing that first time. That was
the whole Badlands crew, right?
They were something else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chargers, right.
So I'm just curious now, team manager wise. I mean, like I always thought you were a team manager, but more of a coordinator.
Yeah.
At that point, because Hobie had like some of the exceptional guys. I'm getting a little bit later. This is like probably 1980. I'm talking 79, 80.
Okay.
Okay. And I remember that they were sent. The Hobie pros were sent to the Colorado Boulder contest. Okay, and they had one-way tickets. Do you remember anything about that?
I'm trying to think. Was I still on board in 1980? I think my last year there could have been 79.
All four of those guys were Hall of Famers.
Really?
They're all in the Hall.
Wow.
And they had one-way tickets, and that's when every one of those guys got picked up by other teams.
Is that right?
Yeah. Dwayne Peters was a Hobie.
Yeah,
He got picked up, and Santa Cruz paid for his way home.
Oh, is that right?
And then Eddie Alguera got Veriflexed.
Oh,
and that's when he went to Veriflex. Daryl Miller went to Hout.
I could have been gone then, you know.
Yeah, but I don't. What I don't understand, Bob, is Hobie had the best team. Like people don't even realize how good that team was. People talk about the Santa Cruz or the Sims guys or this guys, but. I mean, honestly, man, the Hobie team was exceptional.
Yeah, thanks, man. And there were a lot of good skaters for sure.
I mean, when every one of your guys basically is in the Hall of Fame is saying something.
Yeah,
But I just don't understand how the collapse of skateboarding, like how they just said, okay, we're done with skateboarding. When they were the top of the top.
I wonder if it could have had something to do with money. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure it had to do with something with money. Like maybe
got
Hobie
bought
Cats.
away, or Hobie was.
Well, at that time too,
Hobie Cats.
had California skate parks closing at a rapid pace because of the insurance.
Right, 79.
Yeah, that was a little bit later. That really, if I remember right, was more like. I mean, it did start with Spring Valley. I think that closed in like 79.
So where was the state?
80.
Where was the state of the business when?
Yeah,
not good. 79
when
was.
You left. When you left.
Going down.
Yeah. So
the tours were over. The big contracts had fallen apart. I think.
Okay.
79
and
was.
Didn't Skateboarder magazine become Action Now?
Yeah, but that was 81, 82.
Yeah, so I think 79, 80, 81. Those were not good years for skateboarding.
Yeah.
I don't think. If I remember right.
Well, I mean, I just remember, like, Sims, we were still selling quite a few boards and everything else. And, I figure, like, our guys, me, Bowman, Lamar, Fulmer, would be the same as having Dwayne, Eddie Alguera, Daryl Miller. Who am I missing? I'm missing some other, like, big skater guy. But, I mean, like, our four against those four, And those guys had to be selling the same amount of boards. And Sims only had Sims and Sims snowboards, where Hobie was, man. I mean, that company's still a huge business right now, selling Hobie cats and
they've got
everything
that
they
retail
have.
stores still.
All the retail stores,
Dana Point.
So, that's why I was always just like, I couldn't figure out, like, how come, like it's almost like.
I think you called it. They had a good name in the action.
Yeah.
The Hobie Catamarans were huge. Hobie Hawk. Hobie surfboards are still
Hobie
around.
Boards,
No.
And then they just like flipped the switch and said skateboarding, we're done.
Yeah, kind of like that.
And it's like, what? Wait a minute, we have like the best skaters in the world, Maybe you guys bailed, and that's when they said enough.
I don't remember getting fired or told it was the end of the trail, or we can't pay you, or I just can't remember how that. I think the whole business model that they had created started to implode. I think.
Okay. I was just curious. I never knew. And I just looked at like how amazing top level guys were. And then
all of a sudden,
it was just like, Hobie's gone. It's like, what the hell? I mean, they started it. They were like the biggest company going back in the day. So anyway, all right. So
I wish I could have shed more light on it for you, Dave. But
just a question I always wanted to know. Okay. So, judging contests, man. You had a fun time judging a lot of contests.
Yeah, that was good. Just to see all the innovation by the bull riders and the freestyle guys was phenomenal. And it was actually hard to judge because everybody's so damn good. And mostly people would lose by crashing. Otherwise their routines would be unreal. If you did a whole routine, with a rock playing and you hit all your tricks and it's just, I'd like to see the list of, I can't remember now, of all the winners of that series. And who was the overall. He must have had an overall winner after like 7 or 8, bull riding competitions, right?
What, you mean Hester series?
Yeah,
okay, well, Hester 1 was Steve Olson, right? And then Hester 2, I think, was Eddie or Mickey. Eddie or Mickey? Might have been Mickey. Might have been Mickey.
Mickey Alba?
Yeah, it was Mickey.
Yeah, Mickey was.
It was Mickey. It was Mickey, and then
that's right. Eddie finished second because Eddie.
Yes.
Eddie went to made his move to Veriflex.
Yeah, but
it started the Veribots.
Yeah,
Eddie,
kind of about that one. But I just remember Mickey, I think, got first in the second in the Hester 1. Hester 2, I'm sorry, back it up. I just blew that one.
Olson was number
1 and Hester 1, and he never won a contest, but he was always in the top 5. Okay, and then Mickey got number 2. Eddie didn't make one of the contests. He was only in like 4 of the 5 contests. So that's what dropped him to 2, where Mickey got 1.
Kryptonics right after he won that, if I remember.
Yeah, I don't remember if he did or not. I think he was always on crypto for a while. He had been, and then the Gold Cup series, Eddie, I think, won that. So that was Eddie's, overall. No, Cab wasn't even in it. He was.
Yeah, he was.
He was in as an amateur, if I remember correctly, on that one, and then he turned pro the next year. So he didn't turn pro in like the year. Thank God. Because then I would have gone from 6 to 7 probably.
Good skaters.
Yeah.
Hearing these names. Your memory gets jogged. Yeah. God.
Yeah, that's why we throw all this stuff out there. So you do think about that and remember that kind of stuff.
For sure.
So anyway, all right. So after like contest judging, then you started working for Rusty.
Yeah, I was. Gosh, what was I? I think I was in the financial planning business for a little while, and Rusty was my client. And of course, surfed the shores with him ever since I was 18, and he had this business, and he was starting to develop T-shirts. The Bleed Rusty T-shirt was a big one.
I remember.
He had a degree in art, has one from UCSD, and myself and another partner joined hands with Rusty. And
so you were a partner. You were an owner.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. I hawked our house in Penasquitos and threw like 50 grand into the business, and I think we were doing like $30,000 when I first started it, and I hired all the representatives. I was the sales manager. Hired about 17 guys, and I think by the end of the the trail, we were doing about 66 million.
Wow.
You know, which was pretty good.
Damn good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Had a great.
Nice hedge on that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Got to surf all over the world: Australia, New Zealand, Europe, Japan, Fiji, sales meetings. Then we, of course, we got into snowboards. We, you know, we didn't want to get into too many things, and
Right.
you know, but some things that were action sports oriented like that, we decided to go for it. You know, for better or for worse.
Yeah.
You know, that was a
Well, that's when Henry came over working there
Henry,
too, right?
Henry
In the
built,
snowboard
he
division.
built a
Factory or something?
yeah,
Or?
snowboard factory
Yeah.
right next to the surf factory in Mira Mesa, San
Okay.
Diego. Yeah,
Wow.
we did a great snowboard business, made some beautiful boards, real functional, because Henry had experience from LibTech.
Right.
He was up in Seattle for years, and so Henry's a smart guy. He built the damn factory, and you know, he's an integral part of our snowboard success there. But
So what was the funnest time? Was it during your skateboard career, or was it during the
well,
the rusty days?
both of them were awesome.
Just different, yeah. Okay.
Both awesome, both
right.
You know, and things I like to do, skateboard and surfing. You know, made a lot more money in the corporate world and on the clothing and surfboard end of things, but also got to see a lot of the world. Our sales meetings were the best because everybody let down their hair. You know, the release of a few times a year of the new line, you know, the summer, the spring, the winter, and see what these designers had come up with. It was awesome. I had a great time, you know, a great time in that industry. And it's full of young people, you know, which I like, you know. So.
Is Rusty still in business? Is they still in there? Did it license it, or is he still working it, or do you still own it?
No. We sold it a long time ago to an Australian licensee. Back in 2007. That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
When I sort of I was 55 in 07, kind of officially retired, but not really. I still kind of worked a little bit here and there, all supervision.
Yeah, good.
You know, because the mod just can't take the physical labor anymore. But yeah, those are great days. Great days. And Rusty, of course, is still, you know, one of the world's top shapers. He's in the Surfboard Hall of Fame. You know, as one of the top 5 shapers in the surfboard industry. But I don't know what's happened. The brand, you know, like you go through these licensing phases.
Right.
You know, this one's got it, then that one's got it, then this one's. But the heyday was really the 80s and the 90s, and then on into the first decade of the 21st century. You know.
Okay.
But it's that whole business has constricted, you know, from what it once was.
Yeah. And what do you think that's from? Why?
Probably,
I mean, look at Quicksilver, look at Billabong, look at all those guys. They all have
probably corporate involvement. You know, back then it was surf shop owners and surfers and everybody having a good time and everybody making a little bit of money and being able to do what you wanted to do, which was travel and go surf incredible waves all over the world. You know, and then the corporate folks got a hold of it, and first thing you know, it's in, you know, the Macy's and the Nordstroms and the this and that, and you know, not saying that's bad, you know, and then e-commerce came along, and the whole thing blew up. But I mean, it was huge for a while, but then it just took a little.
You got to have growth, and that's where your growth is.
You got big growth. And then the thing constricted a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
Nothing lasts forever, sort of, kind of speak.
Yeah,
you know?
You got to know it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why you got to enjoy everything.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
If there's anything
You know?
we all learn, you have to enjoy that moment. Right
there. Take it all in and make the best out of it. And, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so P24.
Yep.
I was just looking at it. You know, I mean, we all developed a ton of friendships through this industry, and you know, all the way. You know, you from surfing, skating. You know, I know you've always had. You know, just talking to everybody, world of respect. Bob Skoldberg, oh yeah, fastest guy, you know, blah, blah, blah. You know, yeah.
That's nice of him.
Yeah.
All my colleagues.
Yes, all the colleagues.
Like I said, you know, I mean, I just can't remember any idiots or assholes in the skateboard. Everybody, we all had a good time.
Because we all came from the surfing.
Right,
we all came from the surfing roots.
We all had the same, exactly right. The roots and the love of the ocean, you know, and subsequently skateboarding, fun stuff.
Yeah.
Fun stuff, you know. I was just lucky enough to, you know, have fun doing it, make a little bit of money, and
have some fun.
Have some fun. Exactly right.
Good life experiences.
Yeah.
I'd say you've been pretty blessed.
Yeah, I'd say so too.
Yeah.
So my lovely bride, I met her way back in the 70s, and we're still married today. Got a couple of lovely kids.
Yeah.
6 grandkids. You know, life's good.
That's great.
Still feel pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if Rusty came back to you, the people that own it now, that have the license, okay, but you sold it, so you have nothing to do with it now. Somebody else, okay.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, sometimes they come back to the original people and say, hey, can you help us out? What do we got to do to get this thing going? But, you know, they get these bean counters in there.
Right.
And they're like, the first thing they do is say, "Oh, get rid of the team."
Well, it's all numbers. It's all numbers.
It's all image guys, and they don't understand. You got to have the image guys to build the company.
And
you know,
have the roots. You know.
Yeah.
There's your roots in.
Yeah.
When we first started, it was all surf shop owners. You know, that's what all the majors would shop. Oh shoot, we got to have this product.
That's right.
And then they're knocking at your door, and the whole thing kind of grows and grows. And you're right, you have to grow a business, and we did. And along the way, you know, we
sounds to me like you sold it at the right time.
Yeah, you know, things got worse after that.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. It's because the bean counters come in and they don't understand how the industry works.
I think I had a friend tell me there's, everything's for sale.
Yeah.
Nothing's permanent, and you know, if the price is right, you know.
I think, like, one thing about corporations now, and the most important thing in my eyes to have is an accounting guy that just listens to the owner and says, don't worry about that. Yeah, it looks like a loss on paper, but trust me, it's going to make the company money.
That's right.
And the other thing is a team manager. The team manager's got to build the image and create it. The marketing guys have to work together to make it, to put it all together. But you know,
timing.
Timing too. Timing as well, man. You get all that together, then all of a sudden it's a super company.
Exactly. And
you're going to make super money in our industry.
You know, we had so many good surfers on our team. You know, we had Sean Thompson, we had Mark Accalupo, we had the Hobgoods, we had I mean, there's a whole...
CJ and his brother, huh? Yeah, wow. World champion, too.
World champion.
Yeah, another world champion.
Right. Yeah, so we're lucky in that respect.
All right. So did you think you learned stuff from when you were doing the Hobie thing and translated it right into the Rusty thing? I mean, how involved?
You know, I've always been kind of a people guy, and I love being in the field. I'm not, you're a desk guy, and, I understand numbers, but I don't. They're not everything to me. Yeah. You know, relationships are, and your word, honesty, integrity, stuff like that there. Do what you say you're going to do. Yeah. A lot of people just tell me, what you see is what you get. There's no BS, although those are my initials.
You're just waiting to die to throw that in, man. I get it, man.
Initials. Oh, that's funny.
All right.
It is funny.
So we're like wrapping this thing down. We're slowing it up. Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
What'd that mean to you?
That meant a lot,
You went into the Skateboard Hall of Fame in 22.
Yep. 2022.
Okay. 2022.
And it's a great,
amazing,
as Henry says, a great club to be in.
Yeah.
You know, and I worked hard, and I felt like not only, competitively, that's part of it, but also spreading the good vibe on skateboarding all over the world. And I put a lot of time in on the road with the fellas and the girls, and turned a lot of people on to the Hobie team, skateboarding tricks, the vibe, doing it safely. And hopefully that was weighed in the measurement of...
In this photo, is that money that you're getting ready to give to Costa?
That's money that my mother's reaching for. That was 5 crisp $100 bills.
Oh, that's your mom?
That's my mother.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she was up there for that. And she was trying to take her little cut there. I think I may have given her $100. I don't know. But that was a lot of money in whatever year that was.
$500, a lot of money back then.
right.
Well, you were the number one in the Hester Open, so that's got to be 78.
77, like that.
I bet 77.
Could have been 76.
76, yeah.
Yeah.
That one was big.
Dirt now. There's homes there.
Yeah.
I think I got a big old black asphalt on my thigh there.
Right underneath your helmet.
Yep, right, from spinning out. But you never really got hurt at La Costa. It was so smooth.
Yeah.
You were there, right, Dave? Shit.
I was up there, but not up there.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
Did you ever go down the cones?
No. Nope. I never did.
Yeah.
I was that kid on the curb watching.
Gotcha.
To be honest with you, I only went up there like once or twice. When everybody was there.
We got some pretty good crowds up there.
A lot of crowds, a lot of people. When I was there the one time, I was intimidated because all you guys were there, and you guys were all 5, 6, 7 years older than me.
Yeah, right.
I was a little kid. I was like 11 years old. Or 12.
Right. And we were in our early 20s. Yeah.
Yeah, you were like 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. For that.
You were the old man.
Yeah.
And you're just getting started at 23, 24.
Exactly.
So my thing was like, I looked up to you guys, Hester, another one, Piercy, like Conrad. He was my team manager, for Sims days. But when I saw all you guys at parks or whenever I ran into you guys, I was just like, oh, and I was intimidated. I wouldn't even go up. I wouldn't even walk up. I just stayed back and did my thing.
We were
but
friendly. I mean, we took that's one of the things. We were approachable for sure.
Yeah,
but when you're younger.
Yeah. I was like just sitting there watching. I remember Chris Yandel was the one guy that I remember seeing, and at those times, and I wasn't even friends with like Steve Cathy, Lane Oaks. Those guys were up on the hill.
Yeah. And,
it was before I really got to know those guys or even meet those guys, because I didn't meet them until like 75, 76, like was when I met those guys. And when I saw them up on the hill, they were just a bunch of long-haired surf guys. And I was just like, what the heck is this, So anyway, but it was pretty cool. But anyway, so let me ask you, is there anything you'd like to add before we shut this down?
Jeez, I think we covered quite a bit.
We did. It was awesome.
My memory here. It was fun. Because
it was a lot that we covered outside.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, 45 years ago, but seems like yesterday in some ways, and other ways,
Until you stand up, it feels like it was 45 years ago. Yeah, I know. I'm the same way, man.
Well, I appreciate it, but I appreciate it. Really.
Thank you very much, man. This is going to be a really fun show.
Good deal.
So anyway, again, if you guys are still watching YouTube, hit subscribe, like, make comments. You can send them over to us that way as well. And we hope you really enjoyed the show.
Right on.
Okay.